Welcome once again to this week's edition of An Irritable Person's Mailbag, during which I will slowly read to you everything you could have read for yourself Monday through Friday on my Substack, Ask an Irritable Person. Monday. Dear Irritable Person, my senator reminded me recently that I'm going to die. Naturally, I knew this already, but I can't say I appreciated the reminder. I thought my representatives were supposed to help me live a long and healthy life. But I guess we now have to face the inevitable. And what's inevitable are death and taxes. I'm going to die, and Elon's going to get a big tax cut. Given that I am going to die, should I just give up my health insurance now and get it over with? It is awfully expensive. I could use that money to buy a lot more beer and cigarettes. Should I let my kids know that they're going to die someday? They're 5 and 3. The 3-year-old still believes in the tooth fairy. We try to keep them away from the TV, but the 5-year-old is asking us what mortality means. Kids today. Anyway, my wife and I have agreed that she'll stick around long enough to see the little one's 18th birthday, but that I can drop dead any old time. As I'm unemployed currently, having been downsized by my company after 12 good years, we've both agreed I'm just taking up space and using up valuable resources. What do you think? Time to accept the inevitable? Just asking. An Iowan. Dear Iowan, I myself long for the sweet kiss of death, but I don't want to go to hell when I die. I think of death as the reward you get after struggling as hard as you can your entire life to endure this blasted hellscape we call life. So be grateful you somehow still have health insurance and hold on to it. What you might want to give up is your senator. Cheer up, loser. You could get a job tomorrow. Target is hiring, aren't they? Well, someone must be hiring. Find them. Get a job. Start earning your keep. In the meantime, abandon all hope, ye who enter here. If by here you mean the U.S. Senate. That place does strange things to people. It turns apple-cheeked veterans into smirking politicians who mock their constituents' concern for other human beings. Did I mention that our existence is a hellscape? Tell your senator to stop poking us with her trident. Sincerely, Irritable Person. Tuesday. Dear Irritable Person, I've been at every protest I could possibly drag myself to during Trump 2.0. It's great to see the huge crowds that are turning out. I'm really looking forward to June 14th, No King's Day. But after weeks of creative and empowering civil actions, Donald Trump still hasn't resigned in shame. And there are still so many MAGA people on TV defending him. It just makes me wonder, what more can we possibly do to make them see the truth? Why can't they understand how bad Trump is? What are we doing wrong? What can we do to educate these poor benighted folk? I try to open dialogue with them. At protests, they shout libtard at me, and I shout libtard right back at them, sort of like call and response, repeating what they say so that they feel heard. And then they shout libtard even louder back at me as they laugh, and we keep going like that for several minutes. By the end of it, I feel that we've bonded a little bit and moved the dialogue forward. Maybe I'm wrong, but shouldn't other, quote, libtards, unquote, be doing this too, in an attempt to reach out to our hardcore, fiercely unmovable political opponents? Signed, libtard, pronouns it, its. Dear libtard, no, you're definitely wrong, and they definitely shouldn't. Neither should you. Please stop doing that immediately. By the way, I'm fine with you owning your name and pronouns, but could you pick a better name and pronouns? It is a bit dehumanizing, wouldn't you say? And libtard is not a term of endearment. You love the world so much, libtard, why do you hate yourself? You're one of Goddess's creations too, for Christ's sake. Those far-right trolls who berate and mock you at protests are not bonding with you subtextually. They're all text. They really are just berating and mocking you. From what I've seen, I can't imagine who, if anyone, they would bond with. From what I've seen, maybe their trucks, dogs, or resentful spouses. But they won't be bonding with you, no matter how much you demean yourself. And you don't have to bond with them. You don't need their vote. You need them to get disillusioned and descend into the political apathy they used to feel when Republicans looked more like Mitt Romney and less like the sloppy rich uncle they wish they had. Not to get all epistemological with you, but truth is subjective. Give it time. It's only been a few weeks. Nixon didn't fall in a day. If you believe in what you're doing, keep doing it. And remember, this whole deciding the future of our nation thing, we're in it for the long haul, like the rest of our lives, so pace yourself. All of you should do the same. Speak up, but no more setting Teslas on fire or threatening the families of federal judges. There are some pretty obvious red lines here, sheeple. Democrats, come up with a sensible vision for the future and grow a sense of humor. And stop educating us, please. A pox on both your houses of Congress if any of you ever use that fucking word again when referring to your fellow grown-ass adults. Calling your political opponents these people isn't a great way to build bridges either. You might want to listen to what they're saying with an attitude of curiosity. Raise clear, common-sense, factually based counter-arguments when you can get a word in edgewise. Then go home and shower away the feeling of despair that's still clinging to you. And don't get too literal about me saying a pox on both your houses. That's a literary reference. I don't actually want anyone getting sick, especially now that we're giving up on that whole vaccine and public health insurance thing we've been doing for the past few decades. Sincerely, Irritable Person. Wednesday. Dear Irritable Person, I want to change my life. If I'm being completely honest, I want someone else's life. And good news, I think I've picked out the perfect person. A happy housewife with 2 young children. I've seen her around, but never spoken with her. Lately, I've begun to come up with a plan to make it happen. It's been under my nose all along. My favorite movie in the world is The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. I love it so much that I even like the title. To me, that film is a fantasy of what my life could be, at least until the last 30 minutes or so of the movie. It's the story of a woman who has been wronged by the world, in this part I see myself, and who seeks revenge against a complete stranger, the happy housewife, by attempting to murder her and seduce her husband. Along the way, on a whim, she also murders the housewife's best friend. Conventional Hollywood standards made her, quote, pay, unquote, for her, quote, crimes, unquote, by pushing her out a window and impaling her on a white picket fence. I hope that the remake gets the ending right this time. I feel I can make this happen, but I'm having occasional qualms that are holding me back. Can you give me the encouragement I need to move forward with my plan and achieve the life I dream of? Sincerely, Aspiring Homebody. Dear Homebody, those qualms you're experiencing are the remnants of your conscience. I suggest you visit your local police department and then turn yourself in immediately. I'd turn you in myself, but you were clever enough not to provide any obvious identifying information. Hopefully my local police department, which I contacted immediately after reading your letter, will have better luck. While you enjoy your stay at a maximum security psychiatric hospital/prison, you can work with your therapists on coming up with a new plan for your future. I suggest you ditch your film fave and binge The Real Housewives of Everywhere and Anywhere. Those women are legally insane, which will be a step up for you. Worried, Irritable Person. Thursday. Dear Irritable Person, I live near the downtown of a very sprawling and very temperate city, much like Los Angeles. Editor's note. Going by the postmark and return address on their letter, this person totally lives in Los Angeles. And now back to the letter. Every day, as I walk to the bus for work, I pass at least a few people who are sprawled out on the sidewalk or curled up against buildings, dead to the world. And lately I've been wondering, what if they actually are dead? Should I do something? I'm afraid to go near them. Should I poke them with a long stick and then run away, keeping an eye on them in case they wake up or come after me? Should I call the police? Would the police even come? If I call the cops every time I see an inert, unhoused person, I'll be calling the police several times a day. Won't that make them angry? The police, I mean. Maybe I'm worried for nothing. Maybe they're all sleeping. Out of every 10 unconscious, unhoused people, how many do you think are deceased? 1? 2? If it's as high as 1 in 3, or 33%, should I poke 1 out of every 3 of them? Is that how percentages work? Sincerely, Passerby. Dear Passerby, don't poke. Never poke. I've seen cops and bus drivers shake people awake with various degrees of gentleness, but you, I suspect, have neither a uniform nor an official requirement to justify this action, so don't poke. Poking is just rude. And I should know because I poke people all the time, purely out of malice and spite. A good poke to the chest to get their attention, a good poke to the eye, and then a quick apology so they don't clock you one. Of course, I'm doing that to antagonize them. Since that's not your intent, no poking. Now that poking has been ruled out, what should you do? Ask Google. Literally, ask Google. I had to because I didn't know what, if anything, to do either. I usually just walk by without a second thought, unless the thought is, without health insurance, I'm one medical emergency away from that being me. They may be asleep. They may be deceased. They may need assistance. I'm not able to determine what they need or how to provide it. But Google says I can contact some people who might. In Los Angeles, land of sunshine and tent communities, the hotline number for city services and non-emergencies is 311. And if you call after working hours, because that's right, the second most populous city in this country does not have a 24-hour phone hotline, you can leave a message online through the My LA 311 app or website, myla311.lacity.gov. And if you're rich, you could pay more in taxes. So we can keep our phone hotline open 24/7 and be able to invest in the housing, substance abuse recovery, and mental health resources we will need to fix this mess. And if you're the government, you can use that tax money well. Sincerely, Irritable Person. Friday. Dear Irritable Person, I'm a Trump supporter and I'm an Elon supporter, and frankly, the last 24 hours have been a real shit show. I mean, I've never voted in my entire life, except for the 3 votes I cast for Donald Trump. I thought the most powerful man in the world and the richest man in the world would be an unbeatable combo. I placed my trust in these guys, and they're squabbling like little kids, with a lot of blackmail material on each other. I'm glad they've toned it down, but I'm worried they'll just start up again tomorrow. I've been thinking about this way more than I should. I'm anxious and vaping constantly. How do I get past this and back to other things, like looking for work now that I've lost my job because of the tariffs? Sincerely, Worried. Dear Worried, you're right to be worried. You're right, this is a real shit show. But you can't control what Daddy Elon and Daddy Donald do, now that you've elected them to office, that is. Be grateful that they both have short attention spans and have moved on to other grievances, at least for the time being. And good luck with the job search. Sincerely, Irritable Person. And that's it for this week's mailbag. Look for Irritable Person's weekly catch-up audio mailbag every Sunday, and follow the daily column, Ask an Irritable Person, every Monday through Friday on Substack. Or subscribe. It's free and virtually certain to remain so for the foreseeable future.